Okay, so the wash has been on there, to be honest, a few hours and drying down. So it's the usual thing. All we're going to do, cloth. This is quite a slippery surface, as in glossy, so it's not going to take too much to get this off. But basically, if we bring you in onto a wing here, all we do, trying it dry first, so we're just going to give it a rub round and see what happens when it's dry, okay? And it's pretty much coming off, so you could get away, if you wanted to, by just wiping this off dry. Now the thing is, it's going to leave a little bit of grime on there, but that's what we want. But to give it a sort of better effect, what we're going to do, just moisten it extremely lightly and rub most of it off, okay? And then we're just going to go round and polish it in. What it's doing now, it's actually rubbing it into the panel lines and all the grooves and things like that. And obviously it's taking away any smears that you might have. But there we go, simple as. On the wing there, so if we bring it in, you can see how it goes right the way through the panel lines. It shows up all these panel details. We've got some lineage down here, it hasn't really gone in. What it is where we missed to cut. We should have actually used a blade. Okay, and just come in here like this and run it up this panel line. Now the great thing with the wash is we can come along, add a little bit more wash in this line here, just down like that, and away we go. But as you can see in that riveting detail, really easy, really straightforward. So what I'm going to do now is just go right the way over the entire model and get it all off of everywhere, but it's coming off really easy, and that's because it's over a nice glossy surface. If you'd done it over something which is a little bit more flat, we'd have had a bit more trouble. But what it is now, it's showing up where we've got the pre-shading, sorry, the post-shading we went round afterwards with that grey, and it's showing it there, and it just makes more of a better line. Before it just looked like a line going over, this gives it something that your eye will concentrate on and go on. So there we go, I'll get it off of everywhere. Okay, so we've pushed through a little bit. Basically, flat coat right the way over to knock it all back. Pretty simple job, just a bit of flat varnish right the way over there. That's dried off and gone handleable now. Okay, so we've gone around, checked all the panel lines, they're all okay, everything else like that. And then what we've done, we've attached the gear. Now the gear itself's pretty straightforward, no real problems. It's just getting the flat spots in the right place is a bit of a nightmare. And to be honest, they are so fragile. Now you might notice this guy at the end. This is because, yes, it is a tail sitter, nightmare. We've also put the flaps in and we painted them silver on the inside, aircraft metal on the inside. Usual thing, they just poke in. There's nothing really fash to them. Gear, as I say, very, very thin and spindly. Now we've opened up the front well. As well, ready to painted the inside of the door and got those ready. So we're really sort of moving ahead now. So actually what we can do is just unmask and see what we've got. So we're going to do these little rear windows for the rear crew. Now we're not probably going to see much in these, so there's no breath holding there, but at least they're a nice clean crisp cut window open. Just move the camera around a touch. Okay, so we just move it in. That's them done, and then obviously what we'll do, moment of truth, the unmasking of the main canopy. So what we'll do is we'll just start around the back here. Off with that one, and just popping down here with the knife. Around the front, at the back, and that's our canopy unmasked. Now don't panic, that's all that's on the top there. You can see, or might be able to see, if we just position you correct on camera, there we go. All this on the top is bits of wash, and it's just where the wash soaks through the tape. So what we'll do, we'll just give them a small little polish up around there. Obviously we'll give it a bit more polish in a moment. But there we go, that's that one done. So really happy with how those two have come out. So actually what we can do now is just try and get the nose one off as well. Now this nose one is slightly more tricky. In fact, handling this entire thing is very tricky. Okay, we'll just find the bottom part. that. So and then we got one around here which goes around the front canopy part like that, and then one that's going to do the front window. Same thing again, bit of a white round and a quick polish up, and we're hoping, there we go, that shows that nose all on, and that little bit of extra time we spent doing that nose ring has really paid off. It's blended that in absolutely beautifully compared to how we had it before. So I'm really happy how that's worked out, because to tell you the truth, that's one of those little panic areas I did have to think about it. So the last thing's really to go on. We've got to put the tip tank wings on and things like that. We've got the doors to go on, the main gear doors, and we've got the pylons and the bits and pieces just to go on like that. Weapons fit, I don't know if I'm going to fit it with weapons. I'll probably just have the pylons on there hanging for the moment and do it like that. So I'll get those bits on. Okay, so there we go. She's basically all finished off now. All we've done, put the tip tanks on, straightforward, drop a super glue in. Lights went in with a little bit of PVA glue. They're a good fit as well, which is quite nice. Yes, okay, unfortunately this is a tail sitter, but those nice people at Airfix have included this little thing. Now this thing here, you can see on the bottom here, this is a little stabilizer that the real aircraft has as well. So it's quite handy that it's got one of these guys, which when you put it down then like this, we have no problem, it sits on its wheels. Lining up those flat spots on the wheels is a little bit tricky. I'd like to see proper pins holding those wheels in instead of just like a drop of super glue that I've got at the moment. Okay, there is some things that are wrong with the kit. We're going to have to talk about it. The rudder situation, top of the tail, and that is wrong. The canopy, I don't know, just doesn't look right either. Both of these are available. If you wanted to pop out, you can buy replacement parts for those, really straightforward, and will give you a good looking overall Canberra. Okay, a lot of people have mentioned that the actual panel lines are wrong and various things like that, but at the end of the day, this has been an out of the box, straightforward build. It's given me no problems whatsoever, and it's gone together an absolute dream, which is really, in this day and age, all you can really ask for. It certainly looks like a Canberra to me, and as a bit of a fan of the aircraft now, I've been converted after building it. It's quite a bit of a lump. It takes up a lot of room, and really for the price and everything else like that, you've got a very, very impressive display model. This particular kit comes in lots of different flavours that are available now, and the aftermarket guys have really jumped on this. So with things like the flaps, you can get replacement cockpits for this, obviously the replacement parts that are wrong, engine details, wheel wells, wheels, everything else like that. So if you wanted to make a super duper all singing all dancing Canberra, it's certainly a lot of options out there. But straightforward, out of the box build, I have to say it's another great build by Airfix. It goes together very, very nicely. The parts are chunky, but they all fit, which is, you know, sometimes they're chunky and they don't fit, and then you've got a lot of troubles. These are chunky and they do fit. This long seam that runs down the model, down the middle, bit of fill up, not really. You can get away with glue, bit of sanding, and your job done, everything else away. The only thing I do criticise is the way the gear goes together, because really that is a bit of a nightmare. Haven't armed it at the moment, something we'll do afterwards, but obviously you can see the type of finish we've got with it. Pretty much light weathering, we haven't gone totally over the top, but it gives it enough to give it that sort of grimed up, dirty feel to it, as you said before. It's been a great build, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have, join me again next time.